Welcome to Comungue webinar series. It's a pleasure to be here. I am Paula Kundari, Director of International Affairs Office of Feevale University in Novo Hamburgo, Brazil. I was kindly invited by Comungue, which Feevale is proudly a member, to be the mediator of this webinar. Comungue is the consortium of communitarian universities of Rio Grande do Sul state, comprised of 14 institutions with almost 9,000 professors and more than 11,000 employees. It also has more than 190,000 students, making it a respectable and the largest system of higher education in operation in the state. The universities from Comungue are not public, as the Brazilian government does not maintain them. However, they are a public patrimony marked by the strong bond with their communities that represent a true network of education, science, and technology, covering almost all the state. The webinar of today is entitled Research Collaboration System with the Latin-Nordic Beyond Alliance for Knowledge, BAC. Before we begin, I would like to inform that the chat function is available for comments and questions. We also encourage you to use this tool to introduce yourselves, your institutions, and from where you are watching us. If you would like to get a certificate of attendance to this event, follow the link on the chat function. Now that we are all connected, I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Professor Fernando Spilki from Feevale. Professor Fernando Spilki holds a PhD in molecular biology and genetics. He is full professor and dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biology at Feevale University, president of the Brazilian Society for Virology, and fellow of the Brazilian National Research Council. Professor Fernando Spilki is also representing Feevale University in the Uncover project, funded by the European Community, which aims to research the clinical aspects of COVID-19 in the world for the next 2 years. Welcome, Professor Fernando Spilki.
Hi, thank you, Paula, for the presentation, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always nice to talk with the colleagues from Comungue and people from abroad that could be interested in this presentation. What I will show is something about our experience as a network with these universities from Nordic countries. I will share with you some slides and some of our experience in the last 20 years, let's say. So let me see whether I could, okay, entire screen, now we go, okay. Please confirm if you are seeing my first slide now, because I have no background of myself right now. Okay, like I was saying, it's an honor to present this to you. The idea is to share with you how the research branch of our Beyond Alliance for Knowledge works, and I will also comment some of other joint research activities that we have with other Nordic universities. Well, the Beyond the Lines was firmed some years ago with joint Feevale from Brazil, Hank University of Applied Sciences in Finland, and VIA University College in Denmark. VIA is one of the largest universities in Denmark, and Hank is one of the main universities of applied sciences in Finland. Finland has a system in which the universities are divided in academic or scientific universities and applied sciences university. That was exactly works exactly like this until 2016. But the thing is now is that even the applied sciences universities are now pushed to do research and science even at the basic level. So all these universities are now enrolled in research activities, and one of the things that amazes me how these European universities could develop research systems so fast. Actually, I could tell you that what I see in the last years from Hank turning herself from the University of Applied stuff into science universities is amazing. How things could go so quick in Europe. Well, why to have a collaboration with Nordic countries? Actually, one of the things that I would like to say is it all is history. That doesn't come from nowhere. The thing is that we have a history in which Feevale, at the very beginning of the 2000s, looked for Hank to establish some sort of collaboration, and that was the beginning of the collaboration between Feevale and many other Nordic universities. The thing is that in 2003, Feevale was searching for new partners to develop not only his research activities, but specifically in the matter of design and more specifically in the matter of shoe design. And the thing is that Hank has already, at the very beginning of the 2000s, a very interesting place, a very interesting institute that is devoted to design activities. And that institute is still there. These are photos from this institute from, I think, 2 years ago. So our region characteristics, since we are in the Rio dos Sinos watershed, we, as you know, we are very, very influenced by the culture of the shoe industry. We have a lot of shoe factories and tannery industries and all this that is related to the production of shoes. And design was one of the main things that were being done at this time at the university. And Hanke was also on this subject. And then the two universities approached and established in 2003 a very fruitful collaboration, not only on this topic, but on many other topics that I will show you during this presentation. And at the beginning of the 2010 decade, we have established, because we have already some other proximities with VIA University from Denmark and Hank, what is called the BAC, or Beyond Alliance for Knowledge. The idea is not only to work on research, but on education and many other possibilities as well. In 2011, all the universities were discussing what could be the next steps for a more proximal or more close collaboration. And during this decade, the thing is that the Beyond the Lines for Knowledge was then formed. Uh, the strategic partnership seminars are a tradition. They are done every year, at least once a year. Of course, this year the seminar was a webinar, unfortunately, but logical reasons. But every year, the people from the university join in each one of these countries and discuss about the results that we had during the year and what could be done next. At some point, we had this collaboration with some partners from China, but that not continued over time. But with the Danish and the Finnish partners, I would say that these collaboration gets stronger and stronger over time. At the very beginning, teaching and education was the main focus. But one of the things that I would like to say as one of the possibilities to make these bonds more stronger is that people have to be in contact with people to discover what could be other focuses in these collaborations. And one of the things that happened is that in these strategic partnership seminars, particularly from 2014, 2015, and after this, the participation of researchers from all these countries made possible that we have time enough to discuss, really discuss, and deeply discuss about the possibilities of joint research. And then we have established not only partnership, but I would say that we developed a lot of friendship between researchers from these three partners. And then all the process became much more fruitful, much more pleasant for all the partners. It's not always possible to establish this type of personal bonds that are so important for researchers if you do not have face-to-face contact with people. Of course, when we are dealing with the pandemics like that, this is not that easy, but uh, in the time that precede the pandemics, and I hope that in the next few years, one of the things that is still important is that people could join in the same room and discuss about possibilities of joint work, and that have happened a lot in the last few years, and these joint these meetings also made connections stronger and the level of confidence, not only from from people that is in charge of the command of these institutions, but between researchers and teachers and all that have developed a lot from these meetings, of course. And then in 2018, I think, we have organized different branches inside the collaboration. There is a branch for projects in the education aspects. There is a branch that deals with the contact with the enterprises, specifically in the technological parks that are around our universities. We have a branch for strategic communication, and we have a branch for research that have me in charge of Feevale, Thais in charge of VIA, and Yanni, who's now the dean of research at Hunk, was substituted by Anuka Pakarinen at this moment as the representative of research in Hunk. And what I will show you is how we organize our work during time to have this research branch really doing very good stuff. And of course, I have to thank not only to the strategic board, which is represented by the directors, but for the team that does the part of the international affairs between the institutions. And Paula is here, but I have also to thank very much to Kati and Tina that make all this process going. And then we have from time to time these seminars, and now we have specific research seminars every year. Last year it was presential. We were there at Hamelina, at the Hunk campus in Visamaki in Finland, but this year, of course, our research seminar was online. And the fact is that this year we are organizing more than one research seminars, of course, because it's easier to have this type of meeting online. But what are the pathways? What we have learned from all these years that could be the right path to have a very beautiful results at the end in terms of collaboration and research? And what could be the pitfalls? What could be the bottlenecks that we have to avoid to gain some time and have a fruitful collaboration? I will talk a little about the bottlenecks first. The first thing is to not believe in myths, not to believe that, for example, Finnish people do not connect to other people. That's the dumbest thing people could think about the Nordic people. Actually, they are very nice. I would like to say that they are so sympathetic that sometimes it's easier to be with them than with many other people that we have relationships from, even from the Americas or from Asian countries. Of course, we will not have the type of personal touch or contact that sometimes Brazilians do. As you know, Brazil is the country of the beijinhos e carinhos sem ter fim, kisses and kisses and kisses. That's not the case. We finished. I would like to say that I like that the most, but they are very well humored. They are very, very clever and very smart people. They really like to be with each other and to exchange information and I would like to say that I have very good friends there. So do not believe so much in that kind of myths that sometimes are constructed by culture, let's say. I never saw anybody using hornet helmets, not in Finland, and that also doesn't happen in Denmark. Of course, there are differences. We are Brazilians and they are Europeans. So some things that are really common here are not that common there, and the other way around. But the only thing that you have to do is to deal with that, is to learn from that. And that's one of the good stuff to establish international collaboration, is that you are always learning something different. So yeah, of course, the thing is that we have to respect these differences. And of course, when you are working in a Nordic country, you have to expect in certain times of the year, you have to expect very low temperatures. You could see the forecast that there is nothing uh, except snow uh, at some points. But of course, if you like that, you'll be like in heaven when you go there, or in Valhalla, I would say. And there are other differences that we have to deal with it. These countries very long histories. They have a very rich past. You could be there entering a room from a castle from the 13th century or even earlier than that, and some portions of the university could have buildings that were built like 120 or 130 years ago, and this building could be a sauna inside the university. As you know, Finnish people love saunas, and they have these at the university. So these are differences, but like I said before, you get richer in your mind. You have a lot of very good experiences also from these differences. And of course, you could be in a library like that, which is the library of the VIA University in Aarhus. And you also can learn from that. You can learn from the type of the spaces that they deliver to the students and how they work with them at these spaces. And this could be good not only for teaching activities, but also to modernize your research way of supervising your students and all this. Uh, these are all very good experiences, and this is only as a curiosity. This is a typical poster from electoral campaign in Denmark. As you see, there is nothing but the name of the candidate, a photo, and the name of the party. And like they say in Denmark, if you are not well known by the society and the community, you will not have to promote yourself in the election. So you learn a lot when you go to these countries. I would say that they have a very good, they are in a very good point of civilization, I would say. This is in the middle of a park in Aarhus. The same for everyone. And as you may know, this is the common ground in terms of society in the Nordic countries. The idea is that everybody could have the chance to live properly. And that's another thing that I think that we Brazilians have to learn from them. And how to feel at home when you are there. Well, it depends not only on the people that will receive you, but on the way that you look for on your personal uh, belief, and how you look, how do you deal with life. So it's possible to feel at home, but sometimes the universities there, they make that you feel at home. It could be cold, like uh, 10 to 15 degrees below zero outside, but look at the type of offices that they could deliver to you and to the students. So that's another thing that our university, I think that the normally the universities from community are doing a very good uh, work in terms of the ambience inside the campuses. But I think that there's another thing that we could learn from them. And sometimes when you are dealing with research, you could be in the middle of a totally frozen forest. But even though, just to share with you how pleasant it is to be with these guys, is that even in the middle of the snow, the feeling could be warm because people could have you in these great places, and they are normally very, very sympathetic. So this is one of the things that makes easy to do joint research with those guys. The fact is that the pandemics made us a lot of to make a lot of these virtual meetings, but that was commonplace even before that for people inside the Beyond Alliance Research Branch. We have these meetings every 15 days or sometimes one meeting per month, but that's not common. The thing is that normally we have these meetings to plan different activities and to share reports about our activities every 15 days normally. And that's very important to have this close contact. That's one of my first take home message. You have to be here with them all the time. You have to join people as closer and as frequent as possible, and then things will happen. Yeah, and sometimes we will almost forget that people are in the older, older side of the world, let's say. And you have to, like in a Venn diagrams, you have to learn about what is different, but also what could be similar between people that are working in these groups. And we have a lot of things in common, and from these things that we have in common in terms of research, we built the first steps of the collaborations, and then the sooner the better we discover what is different between us. And this is also rich because normally we find some sort of complementarity in our projects. And that's I would say that is the richness of our collaboration. Sometimes we'll exchange samples. You could bring some samples there and have this in Brazil. Of course, there are legal issues about that that have to be that one have to deal with it. We have sometimes we have to have authorization from ministries from both countries and all this, but we do a lot of that. We You could share information not only by researchers, but it's very rich when you enroll also students, especially post-graduation students are very now used to participate in these joint projects. And sometimes we could share students. Students could be there. Uh, in the past, we used a lot of scholarships from Brazil, but today the thing is that we have agreements with them, and normally they share some scholarship from the European Union to allow that people from Brazil could study there and make some research there. And the other way also, we have a lot of students that come from there to Feevale, normally in teaching activities, but we have also students that get enrolled in research activities. And talking about the projects, there is a very interesting project that joins uh, common uh, common subjects from our institution and their institution. This aging society project is one of them. Normally, these projects they surpass the pure research activities, and they become also some sort of extension or or learning activities as well. And we have a lot of projects. We have projects in environmental stuff, entrepreneurial training, entrepreneurship. We have a very strong project in terms of the comparison of durability of materials in the Nordic conditions and in the subtropical conditions here. That's very interesting because people could collaborate in real time and see whether uh, the, 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 the conditions in Nordic latitudes, what this could provoke in terms of wearing of the materials, and they could compare in real time what's happening in Brazil. We have a lot of activities also in terms of urban solid waste recycling, as you see, sustainable development, and like I said before, aging society is another very strong project nowadays. What will be next? Well, we have this plan to have a Beyond Research Unity, that the first of these unities for common for use by different researchers will be probably uh, uh, in Hank at Finland, but the idea is that these places to receive researchers from other countries could also be replicated and multiplied in the older partners of the alliance. And as I said before, many times after we do a lot of research, we could enrich our teaching activities with short courses, seminars. Uh, Tomorrow we will have a seminar for digital education, which is one of the older research activity, joint research activity that's now being being initiated. But of course, that have to be done with some sort of participation from each, real participation from each of the partners. So we have to be involved. And I would say that in 2020, we were surprised by the success of these seminars for research results that we have made. Uh, a lot of people have the possibility to see this. Sometimes it's not easy to deal with time differences. That slide is from last Thursday, no, Thursday, not Friday, I think. And as you see, they were there in Finland at, I think that it was 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. for them, 20 past 10 a.m. And for me, it was like 20 past 4 a.m. But okay, we could do some sacrifices to be with this very, very pleasant people. And sometimes these are not only short courses, but we also made uh, that research could turn into disciplines or modules to be integrated in our graduate or postgraduate courses. And the philosophy is to follow the same requirements or the goals that we have in research. So each of the partners put there what what the highest level of expertise and what we have in common. We teach together. What we have that could be different from each partners, we teach isolated, but to complement, to make some sort of complementarity between the partners, of course. This is from the module. We have also, of course, if you travel all over the Atlantic from south to north, you have also the possibility to share expertise and to know other people. We are not jealous at our beyond the lines, and we have also made a lot of contacts with people from other universities, like the Tampere University at Finland, and also from in Denmark with people from the South Denmark University, Southern Denmark University. From the Southern Denmark University, as an example, we made a project last year. I think that it was in 2017 to 2018. We have conducted this project to make new types of detectors for contamination of water by enteric viruses. So this is only example that we have this alliance, but it allows us as well to have bonds with other universities from these countries, because, like I said, we feel at home there. So we could share experiences and to have other contacts as well. Well, the only old way to fail is not to try, like they have in this wall of the design factory there at Hunk. And I'd like to say thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'm here for questions if you want to do so.
Quitus, Quitus Palium, Professor Fernando Spilk. I would like to give greetings to our audience. We have Professor Everton Capellat with us. His work in robotics and engineering is very important. It's a very important part of this cooperation. Also, we have with us a former Feevale alumnus that now is doing her PhD in Europe, Laura. She was an exchange student in biology there in Finis. And we have with us Cristiana from Uniski, that she is coordinating all these webinars. And this is a very important thing we are doing to share all the information we are and all the knowledge we are learning with our international network. So that we have one question to address to you, but we would like that you give some information what's coming, what's next in this cooperation. We are discussing a new cycle of our agreement, 2020 to 23rd. And if you could give some topics, what is coming, it will be very interesting.
Well, like I showed you, one of the things that our main worry right now, the greatest plan is to have these physical places for common using, like we say, multi-users laboratories that could be there in each of the universities. So if anybody has to collect some sort of sample there from the environment or from an animal or people there in Finland, the first steps of analysis could be made there, and then that could be transferred to Brazil, and the other way, if we could have this in Denmark or in Brazil, that will make easier to make this research. Other thing that will begin soon is about the doctorate students that will be probably, they will have their PhDs here at Feevale, students from Finland, and that they will be supervised not only by us as teachers, but also from people at Finland. And there is a plan um, between we researchers that these co-supervisors, this could be even more common in the future, that people from Denmark could teach something also to our students and so on. And another thing that I think is now just the challenge is that we have done a lot of preparation to do a very good science over the years. I think that we have already some very good results. But our plan for the next decade, the decade that's beginning right now, is that we have real good science being done by the three partners, and to have projects that do not have only partners from two of the universities, but that have this triple partnership really going on in science. And I'm very happy to say that I think that this will happen in a very deep way very soon, because people are now really enrolled into participating in this. Because now we had the time to know each other as researchers and as persons, and that's very important. That's one of the take-home messages. You have to allow that people know each other very well, to develop confidence, to develop friendship. That's the basis of good science. We have to have this type of confidence, and this is happening. And I think that our relationships are now strong.
Yeah, certainly our relationships about strong bonds, and we are very proud of this connection, Latin-Nordic connection, that makes reach higher together in learning from each other in a beyond way of cooperation. The name Beyond Alliance for Knowledge is very meaningful because we are doing beyond the standard cooperation. And thank you very much, Professor Spilk. We have with us too from Denmark, the Dr. Hoana. It's
Juana
very,
from South Denmark University.
yeah, South Denmark
She's
University.
a wonderful collaborator of our group, and we did and will do in the next few years. I think that we'll do very good research, but I would say that we have already very interesting results. It's awesome to be with these people there at Soderborg.
Yeah, Sonnenborg, beautiful place to visit. So thank you very much. And on behalf of Comungi, I would like to thank you, Professor Fernando Spilk, for this relevant webinar. Beside all the meaningful information, the webinar helped to promote the exchange of expertise between universities affiliated to Comung around the world. I would like to invite the audience for the next Comung webinar in December 15th at 11 a.m. Brazilian time, entitled The Wonderful World of Nanoscience and Nanotechnology with Professor Alencar Kolinsky Machado from Franciscana University. Thank you for your participation. Be safe and healthy. Thank you. Kitos, tak.
Thank you. Abraço a todos.